Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you all had a wonderful holiday season and a super happy new year. I am back and it was nice to have the 2 weeks off, but I'm glad to be back. All right, so today I've got this really super cute mold, and I'm not going to tell you what it is now. You may figure it out before the end, but it's a surprise. My husband got it for me for Christmas, along with Let's Resin Intense Chameleon Powders, which I've never used before, but have always wanted to. So we're going to play around with these two new things today and see what we can figure out. Now, these Intense Chameleon Powders are awesome. Like, I am super impressed. And the three that I want to use today are cherry, blue, and green. This mold it's actually a soap mold, my husband said. And I don't know, you might be able to tell what it is now, but I'm in love. And the silicone, it's a little bit different feeling than the silicone that I typically work with. It's really squishy, which is good. It's kind of stretchy. I have never used it before, so I wasn't really sure how it would work, and I was kind of scared to try and flip it inside out. I tried around a little bit, but the base on this thing is like really thick so that it can stand up, and I didn't want to mess it up, especially not before I even got to use it. So we're just gonna kind of have fun shoving this powder in here and trying to get it in all of the areas, every little groove and crevices. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a pain, especially once I get down into the bottom. But you know, I mean, the end result is amazing. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just taking this cherry and I am going along the nose and the tail of this and just kind of painting it on, making sure to kind of push into all of those little grooves. And it's a very textured mold, probably one of the most textured ones I've ever used, and I didn't really realize it until I demolded this afterwards, just how textured it is. But it's amazing. It really truly is amazing. And obviously, because it is very thick and deep, we are going to be using a deep pour resin today. Now, going along in here, I'm going to be honest, I know what it is. It's an animal. We'll leave it at that. But I purposely did not look at the, like, you know how when you go to buy something, they show you what the finished product looks like, whatever. I didn't look at that. So I really, at this point, I don't know. I don't know really what I'm doing. I can kind of tell what parts are what, but at the same time, I don't know exactly what this animal is doing. I have no idea. So it's gonna be a kind of a surprise. And now knowing, looking back at how I demolded it and what I parts I thought were what, I would do it slightly differently. I do love the end result, and these chameleon powders are truly intense. And it's probably my most favorite result of any time that I have ever used any chameleon powder, period. So now I'm taking this green and I'm shoving it into the head of the animal and just going along. And this is where it gets into, because it's a 3D mold. It's, I think he said it was a soap mold. It could be a candle mold. I'm really not sure. It's one of the two. So it's very detailed. It's very 3D, not like your typical resin molds, which, are kind of like flat looking, I guess, unless you're making your own or you're buying them from someone who's making a specific one for you. It's got a lot of just everything in this, and it's great. It really truly is. Going in with that gorgeous blue. I mean, look at how beautiful this blue is. Like, it is beautiful. And I'm going to do the body of this animal, almost said it, with the blue, and trying to get in there. And again, trying to figure out what body parts are what was slightly difficult in certain aspects. And then getting inside to make sure that in all of those little areas that I'm getting every nook and cranny with this powder so that I don't have any black spots left was a it it was a lot of work, but well worth it because the end result is fantastic. So I'm curious, as I've never used any other, well, okay, so I've used chocolate molds and candy molds and stuff like that, but I've never used like soap or candle making molds other than ones that are kind of specified more so for resin. Never anything like this before. How many of you have used or use on a fairly regular basis, or just have used once or twice in the past like molds like this? And is it something that maybe I should look more for? Because I've kind of steered away from them. I've heard that they can come out not quite so shiny. I didn't have an issue with this one, and I don't know. Is it something that is worth playing around with more, or should I kind of stick to, what's actually more for resin? Now, I don't know if you guys can tell what it is yet or not, but those colors in there are amazing. And I'm really stoked to see what this is going to look like when I demold it. And this is where I'm using right now the NIC Pro Deep Pour Resin. And then we're just going to go in with some black pigment paste. It's the Baltic Day one Black Abyss that I'm using today. And I have no idea how much resin I need for this. Like, I normally don't know how much resin I need for anything because I don't measure. We all know this. I just kind of go with the flow. But this one, I really like I said, I've never done one like this thick and chunky and fat before, so I have no idea how much this is going to take. Doesn't seem like it would take a lot, but I don't know. So I mixed up about I want to say it was 6. No, it was less than 6 ounces. I think total this thing took about 6 ounces. It was probably a little bit more than 4 ounces that I mixed up because I really wasn't sure. And again, it's pretty tall, pretty fat, and even being a deep pour resin, I've only used it once or twice before, so I didn't want to push my boundaries too much with it and just have this thing flash cure or anything like that. So I think it was just slightly over 4 ounces that I mixed up. Just mixing this in, I personally don't know that it necessarily has to be completely opaque as far as for it to work. I just think it needs to be black. I've never made a point when doing this to make it like completely opaque. So I don't think it necessarily makes a difference as long as you have a black or dark background to get that, you know, bright chameleon powderness effect to work the way that you want it to. So I poured in a little less than half of it, and then I am just kind of squishing it around, pulling it, stretching it, just to make sure that the resin is in all of the places that it needs to be so that I don't have any air pockets or anything like that where the resin hasn't gone. Again, there's lots of pieces to this that are kind of in different areas and whatever, so I just need to make sure that it is filling it all up. Of course, it wasn't enough. I needed like another ounce and a half of resin, but again, I don't want to push it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this set for about 24 hours, and then I'm just going to come and top it off with just regular Nick Pro's like regular resin just to get that last little bit in there to fill it up the rest of the way. Don't want to overdo it. Don't want to have any issues. Right now, I'm just squeezing the nose, squeezing those areas, making sure that there's no bubbles in there, no air stuck in there so that I get the best results possible. And you can kind of see as I'm squeezing right now that air coming out. And just gonna let it set for the 24 hours. Add that little bit up, which I didn't waste time filming. You guys, it's not that much of a difference. So now it's time to demold. This is 2 days later now. 2 days after I poured that first little bit of resin. Not a little bit, but that first pour of resin. Now, again, I don't know you guys, but anytime I'm demolding something new and it's kind of like, all right, how do I do this without, killing my mold without breaking anything, without ripping it. Ugh, it's scary. It's scary. And because of the way that this is, I was scared that pieces were going to get stuck or not come out and I was going to tear it. I mean, like I said, it is super squishy, super stretchy silicone, and it's not real thin. Like it's pretty chunky, but not chunky enough that you can't move it. Like you can see how pliable it is. I was just worried. I didn't want anything to happen to this because this is like my favorite thing ever now. Like this is my new favorite mold, I think. Like ever. Ever. Can you tell what it is yet? Oh, I can't wait. Oh, this it's so cute. Oh my god. Yeah, it did take me a few minutes trying to get over it and all that fun stuff. And then the head was another thing. Like it came out easy enough, but I just wanted to make sure that the ears didn't get stuck in there. Do you see it? The mold came out beautifully, no issues. Look at that. Oh my god, look how cute he is. He is adorable. Now you can see what I'm talking about, how not knowing exactly where the certain body parts were, like his hand should have been blue, not green. I kind of just wanted to stick with the head being green. Look how beautiful. Look at all the colors coming out on that chameleon powder. It's gorgeous. Now, I've kind of been thinking I may go back and paint his little toenails and the eyes like black or something like that just to kind of make him a little bit more, I don't know, but he is so cute. I'm in love with him. Elephants are my absolute favorite animal ever. All right, guys, I know it was a quick one this time, but that's it. I've got a lot of cool stuff coming up in the next few weeks, so stick around. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I will see you guys on Thursday for the next one. Love ya. Bye.